Awesome. Good evening. Welcome back from a nice long weekend. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the New Canaan Board of Education this Tuesday, September 2nd of 2025. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Excellent. We do have just a slight change to the agenda, which is why it's a revised agenda that we'll be approving this evening. We have an action item by accepting a donation a little bit later tonight. Can I get a motion, please, to approve the revised agenda for September 2nd, 2025? Phil, second. Penny, all in favor? Thank you. Can I also get a motion to approve the minutes of August 18th, 2025? Penny, second by Matt, all in favor? Excellent. Thank you very much. Moving on to comments from the public. To ensure the public's right to be heard, the board set aside time during the meeting for public comments. 2 minutes to be allotted to each speaker and a maximum of 15 on each subject. Would anybody like to approach the board? Seeing as there are none, we'll move on right into reports and recognition. First up, Darlene Pianco with a staffing update.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I know that in our last meeting, Dr. Lutzy mentioned that we welcomed 34 new teachers at our new teacher induction a couple weeks ago. It seems like a year ago, but it was only a few weeks ago. And prior to that, when I had reported out to you, I mentioned that we were fully hired in the certified area of our staffing. Never mind. No, just kidding. In the last 2 weeks, we've had 3 resignations, all due to the fact that people were relocating. So we were unaware of that. However, our wonderful administrators, and I'm not just saying that because they're here, jumped on those situations relatively quickly. And as of today, we've hired one of the positions, which is a literacy specialist at East School. And we are solidly in process for a technology integrator at Saks and a psychologist that is shared between the high school and West. So I'm hoping that I'm putting that out to the universe tonight. We're going to finish that up. But other than that, all certified staff are hired, and a few of the long-term sub situations that we have coming up in the early fall, probably in the beginning of November, we're working on filling those. And also some recent resignations in our teaching assistants category. Some people have been able to secure a teaching position, and so we are working all of those. Our assistant principals worked on all of those last week, and we're just about there. We are fully staffed for our building subs in every building. And in terms of our campus monitors and security, we had an opening or 2 in that area. Those are filled. And we're currently working on additions to our substitute pool. We took a deep dive look during the summer at who was active in that pool and how often they were working. And we have close to 60 people who are working very consistently, and then about another 15 in the pool who aren't working as much. But really want to continue to build that pool as much as possible, and Dr. Lutzy's seen the line of people coming through my office. So I'm really hopeful that we'll get there too. And again, while I have the microphone, thanks so much to our administrators for the selection, interview and selection process that went really well. And I think we're starting the year with having filled a lot of really difficult positions. You know what they are because I've already told you, and with really good people. So I'm really optimistic.
Great. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments from the board? Excellent. Thanks again, Dar. And moving on to school opening reports with all of our principals. Where do we start?
Nice As we do each year, we've invited our principals to join the board to give an opening report of the first couple of days of school. And as we're about to hear, I believe we've had an excellent start to the school year. Our students are engaged, our teachers are energized, the buildings are full of learning and positive energy. It's really wonderful. And we've been out and about throughout the week in the buildings to see that firsthand. That being said, though, I also want to acknowledge that we've had some significant transportation challenges this past week. As you are aware, we've transitioned into a new software system for our transportation, which Dave's not going next either. Can we turn that off? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Dave. We transitioned to a new system, and in that transition, we've certainly had some challenges around the routes, the existing routes and otherwise. We are working around the clock to resolve those issues, and I hope and think we're going to hear some reports that we've had quite some marked improvement even today from last week as we continue to go. I sent a message out to the community on Friday asking them to please let me know directly if they're still having those challenges, just as a restart in a way, because we've continued to chip away at the issues that are there. We have not yet performed a thorough review to understand how this happened, why it happened. Really, we're still in the triage mode of figuring out and fixing any issues that come to our attention. And as soon as we work our way through that and get to a good spot, then we'll be able to look back a bit and find out what happened with the implementation, why the data didn't transfer the way that we anticipated that it would and should. I have been speaking with DATCO. I've been speaking with Tyler Technologies, who is the partner who owns the Traversa program that we've been transitioning to. So Traversa itself is an industry standard program. It is something that is used throughout Connecticut, throughout the country. It is what DATCO primarily uses and supports. And the system that we had been using was becoming antiquated and was not, didn't have the features and the interoperability that the other systems required. Things like our school dismissal manager and Where's the Bus and Power School and other things that we were using. So there was a need to make a transition. We moved into Traversa. And again, we'll be doing a more thorough review once we get to a place where we're ready to do that. But for the time being, just wanted the board and the community to know that we are marshaling all the resources possible to resolve all of these issues. Of course, prioritizing safety for every child first, looking at our youngest kids and our elementary students, and then certainly looking at the timing issues with the buses and the runs. So it's top of mind. It has been quite an effort by everyone, by our building leaders, by our transportation team, by others. And it really has been taking in a significant amount of time and energy to work our way through it. But I do want you to know, as you're about to hear, it hasn't defined us or defined our opening or had any kind of a negative impact on what's happening within the four walls of our building and all the energy and the joy and what's happening with our kids and teachers in schools. So thanks for your patience. I want to say thank you to the community for your patience. We recognize the challenges that it causes, and we are doing everything we can to get back to the level of service that the community's come to expect from us, and rightfully so, because that's what they deserve. So with that, I want to move forward and begin our opening of school reports with our East School principal, Zoe Robinson. Last week, Zoe successfully defended her dissertation. As a matter of fact, not only did she, yes, not only did she successfully defend, she was told by her professors that she was one of the best doctoral quantitative students they've ever had. And the committee approved her dissertation as is with no edits. So it's my honor to say welcome to Dr. Zoe Robinson as she shares her opening of school report.
Thank you,
Doctor,
Harvey.
it's all yours. And she said, why will I go first? I said, well, that's what doctors do.
Thank you for the welcome, and thank you to all of you for having us here tonight. It's always an honor and a privilege to stand up here and be able to share all of the exciting things that are happening in New Canaan Public Schools. East started off with a very successful opening of the year, and as always, the year begins before the students arrive. On Tuesday, August 19th, Maura and a group of student leaders warmly welcomed our new families to East, whether they were coming from another school in the district or new to New Canaan. Their leadership and their thoughtful guidance helps students and families feel comfortable and connected from the start, with a scavenger hunt and tours led by students making other students feel comfortable. The excitement continued then with our grades 1 through 4 meet and greet, which we held on Monday, August 25th. Students there united and reunited with past and new teachers. They explored their classrooms, and they were able to get an opportunity to meet colleagues, friends in their classrooms, and get to see a sneak peek in what their classroom looks like. On Tuesday, August 26th, we welcomed all of our first through fourth graders eagerly with music, joy, and a lot of cheering as we welcomed them into our classrooms. And then later on that morning, we had the honor of hosting all of our kindergarten families for their meet and greet as they got the opportunity to go into the classrooms as well. And their first day started on August 27th. You forget how little those kindergartners are as you're trying to guide them through the hallways, and they were just so super excited. The first few days of school were filled with enthusiastic smiles. Teachers really focused on smooth routines and a strong sense of community. Teachers worked diligently to establish classroom expectations, build connections with their students, and create welcoming spaces for students to thrive and learn. Overall, the opening of East School has been both joyful and successful. We are excited for the year ahead as we explore opportunities to make sure that we foster their learning, help build them as citizens, and making sure they have a very successful year. We began the year with 565 students in grades K through 4. We welcomed 113 new kindergarten students. Grade 1 is coming in at 108 students. Grade 2 with 110 students. Grade 3 and 4 were tied at 117 students, but today I got a new enrollment, so we're up to 118 students. We're holding steady with 30 sections across our school, with 6 sections at each grade level. I do want to take a note to make sure that I shout out to our custodial staff. They worked really hard over the summer to make sure that the building was in tip-top shape and making sure that it looked great and ready for our students. Also, as we entered our first PL days, our teachers worked diligently to make sure that they were working on their staff charters, looking at enhancing our current practices, making sure they took the time to learn about their incoming students to make sure that they were prepared to greet them and meet them where they were. In addition, we had our playground resurfaced this summer, so that is new and exciting. There might be a little bit of sparkle of green throughout the resurfacing, but it looks fantastic. And we made sure we ordered, given student feedback, some new recess materials that would allow them to explore their interests. Lots of requests for soccer balls, high quality. They wanted, not the inflatable ones. So we did that with the help of our PTC, who continues to be such an integral part of our school community. We've already held our first PTC meeting, and tomorrow I am excited to welcome them at our Welcome Back Coffee, which Dr. Letzi will be joining us as well. And it just is so inspirational to see how they all come together to volunteer. They help make the school a successful place, and I couldn't do it without them. Finally, just a huge thank you for everyone's continued support. I'm grateful to be part of this wonderful district, watching the students come in with those smiles and greeting me. Some of them are confused by the new title. They're asking me if I could help them with some cuts, but I had to explain that to them. But it is just, it's a thriving place, and everyone alike just has been chipping in and doing whatever they need. And a special thank you to our parents for their patience as we learn their students, learn their children, and work together to make an exciting school year. So thank you for your continued support, and I am excited to see what this school year brings for us.
Thank you very much, Doctor, and congrats once again.
Yep, and next we'll move over to South Elementary School and our principal, Matt Gaskak.
I reiterate Dr. Robinson's gratitude for letting us come and share tonight. Overall, our first week of school was very smooth and successful, and we want to thank Mother Nature, of course, for providing the perfect weather all week last week. Students left on Friday and today with smiles on their faces and a sense of excitement about the year they're going to have coming up. It's a very special year for us at South as we celebrate our 75th anniversary of educating children in New Canaan. South opened to students in grades 1 through 6 in September of 1950. So we plan to have a variety of anniversary activities throughout the year to celebrate this milestone. This year we welcome 489 students, which is about a dozen more than we had last year. So we're roughly about the same. We still have 26 sections. The only change was we went down a section in grade 2 because obviously that section, that grade level, which was 6 sections last year, moved up to grade 3. So we have 3 grade 6 and 5 sections of all other grade levels. All of our grades are within class guidelines. We're of 17 to 20 right now. Regarding staff, we have a new technology integrator, and we have 2 long-term subs for maternity or child-bearing leaves, one at 2nd grade who will be with us through January, and one in special education who will be with us for the full year. We also hired 3 teaching assistants. Sore subject, but transportation-wise, we had a really good week. We really didn't have very many problems. The first couple of days, we had a bus that came a little bit late, but really it wasn't more than 2 minutes after the second bell rang. And by Friday, all the buses were at least 5 minutes before the second bell. Same thing today. All our buses were there today at least 5 minutes before the second bell. And dismissal on the other end, I was outside, I go out, I have bus duty, Mrs. McCormick has car duty. So I was out Tuesday, our last bus didn't leave till 3:35, but by Friday, our last bus left at 3:20. So overall, it just got better as the week went on. We really had no missing children or people on the wrong buses, so knock on wood, we had a really good week with transportation. As I visited classrooms, I saw lots of smiles, and I personally shook the hands of all 21 of our new students in grades 1 through 4 and welcomed them to South. Ironically, that's the exact same number as we had last year in grades 1 through 4. We had 21 new students. On Wednesday, we welcomed our 99 kindergartners, which is bigger than last year. I believe we started last year with 85. And each day they continue to bring brighter smiles to their faces, and they just bring overall joy to the school in general. Whether they're looking at the ceiling or not necessarily following their teacher. And nobody's called me Mrs. Kaskak or Mom yet, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. School climate-wise, our school climate committee continues to be co-chaired by 3 teachers who very much enjoy the work and work closely with the administration as well as Dr. Bliss and our classroom coaches. This year, we're going to focus on happiness and continue to help our students feel that they have at least several adults in the building that they can connect closely with throughout the school year. Our PTC, of course, continues to support us both financially and with just countless manpower hours throughout the school year. They held popsicle play dates for all our new kindergartners, along with our 21 new 1st through 4th graders on August 22nd. They ran school tours for the new 1st through 4th graders on the 25th of October. And I believe we talked a little bit about this last year, but we piloted a composting program last year, and we're continuing that this year thanks to the generosity of Planet New Canaan, who is very generously picking up the bill for this program. But we also have parents coming in every day to help our children know which containers to put which items in. So we have a liquid container, we have a recycling container, we have a trash container, and then of course we have the composting container. One big change was right at the beginning of June last year, I got a letter from Curbside Composting who said, we're not taking your trays anymore. And we were filling 10 64-gallon rolling carts last year, and most of it is the trays. They are compostable, but the company that they dumped the compost off at, I guess, decided not to take them anymore. So Planet, I always want to say Planet Hollywood. Planet New Canaan found another company that does take the trays. So we switched companies, and we are continuing to take the trays. So our trays are compostable, all of the utensils are compostable, brown napkins, and then of course, all of the food scraps. Our school garden continues to be a gem in its ninth year. It's ninth year. We had 13 wonderful South School families who volunteered to help care for the garden. They spent 22 separate days weeding, watering, you name it, battling squash bugs. They helped take care of the garden all summer long, and we produced probably about 60 pounds of food so far this summer, with 48 of those 48 pounds of that food or produce going to the residents of the schoolhouse apartments, and the other food went home with the volunteers. We're looking forward to 2 more harvest days, one in September and one probably mid-October, that the children all take part in, and then we'll close up the garden for the winter until springtime comes and the children get to start their plants from seeds and watch them grow until June, and then, of course, we'll have a whole round of volunteers again. As with any garden, there's wildlife that causes some issues. This year, rabbits and birds were a bit of a problem, but thankfully, the second grade Cub Scouts from Pack 45 built an amazing cover to protect some of the fragile seedlings as they were growing this spring, and they were able to move the structure that they built around as needed to protect the plants. Our moon tree, which is a sycamore tree, we were a little worried about it last winter. It grew about 4 feet over the summer, so it's doing absolutely wonderfully. As we always do, we participated in May last year, we participated in the Kids Heart for Challenge. I just received a thank you letter for the over $13,000 that was raised by our student body in participating in the American Heart Association Kids Heart Challenge, which of course is a program designed to teach children about heart health and encourage them to engage in heart-healthy decision-making and exercises. We also received a thank you letter from the principal of PS 135 in New York for the donations of whatever was left over in Lost and Found after school got out. We worked very hard to try to get people to come in and pick up their stuff, but we had quite a bit. We had PTC volunteers who washed every item, washed and dried it, folded it, and then we have a staff member who has a connection with PS 135, so we donated everything there. We're truly off to a great start, and our next big event is our Fall Family Gathering, scheduled for September 14th from 4 to 6 p.m. on our lower playground. But it's been a great year so far, 5 days, and it's like we've been here forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Jan? Next will be Principal Jan Murphy, our West Elementary School principal.
So good evening, everyone, and likewise, it's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight. It does sometimes feel, and I guess maybe it's because I've been doing this so long, that we never left over the summer, but good to be back and great to start a new, fresh year. I'm going to reiterate what some of the other principals have said. Mrs. Gracia, our assistant principal, and I welcomed 19 new students and 17 new families to West this year. They came as far away as London and as close as North Stamford. We welcomed 3 new certified staff, 2 pre-K teachers, and 1 school psychologist, and then in addition, we also added a building sub and an intern. I always bring a book. Bill, this is my book. And this year we chose a book, and it's actually a full committee, it's not just my choice, but we always choose a book that has like a message for kids. And this one is called 1,000 No's, and it's really tied into our school climate focus on kind. Each letter in kind stands for something. The D stands for determined, and the book is about a little girl who has a great idea. She thinks it's the most amazing, superb, best idea ever, but she keeps hearing no after no after no. With a lot of perseverance and some innovation, she gets the biggest yes ever when her idea finally goes forward. So we thought that was a great book for our kids this year. We currently are enrolled with 423 students in kindergarten through grade 4 and 56 students in pre-K. No changes to our number of sections except for grade 4. We reduced down to 4 sections, still meeting the class size guidelines. We also had our meet and greet on Monday, August 25th. Students met their teachers, visited their classrooms. We had a great music playing. The whole central office staff was there dancing with Westy. That same day, our kindergarten students visited with their parents for their meet and greet. And then the following day, our kindergarten students came in for day 1. Just some quick updates. We had 9 classrooms that received new smart boards. We had a brand-new TV monitor in the gym for instruction for the PE teacher. The stone wall all along the front playground was refurbished and had some mason upgrades. Very important, all of our trees were pruned this summer. And then we also received new walk-ins, refrigerator and freezer in our kitchen. Again, just like to acknowledge all the positive and great work that we partner with our West School PTC. They, in addition to the other 2 elementary schools, we received special education communication boards for each of our playgrounds, which helps students who are nonverbal. We are currently in the process of implementing a shade structure for the back playground. We are in the process of purchasing mats to welcome visitors in our main lobby, so you'll be greeted with large mats with Westy the Whale. We also integrated a new sensory ninja pathway between our 2nd and 3rd buildings for students who need to take a break. And then I want to thank the PTC that we have a lot of new swag themed with the Wicked play and then our pink bows for the girls. And then we also will be having on Thursday this week a PTC luncheon, a teacher appreciation luncheon. The PTC parents I'd like to thank for decorating the faculty lunch, making it inspirational and very welcoming environment. And then we're also implementing this year a lunchroom cart to kind of help with some of the last 5 to 7 minutes of the lunch period where kids can play with puzzles, do some brain teasers, maybe draw and things like that. One thing that we are doing this year is we're partnering again with New Canaan Cares, with Colleen Proster and Maureen, for a program called Game On, which is for 3rd grade students, and it's for them to be able to play games with one another, and we have one of our teaching assistants overseeing that. We continue to have our early bird program. Our outdoor learning center is a great space for kids. We're continuing our work with being our best self, tying that into our school goals. This year in grade 2, we're also hoping to pilot something called Let Grow, and we're tying it in with our kind. And we're sort of going to go with the idea of be the I in kind and focus on being independent at school and at home. And so we'll be meeting in the next couple of weeks to kind of work through that. Teachers, again, first few days of school, they've taken field trips to kind of teach kids about all the different expectations across school environments. Students are creating with their teachers our classroom charters. Our own faculty reviewed our school charter the first few days of school. We chose the words respected, supported, and connected. And we continue our work with morning meetings and closing circles. And again, I would like to thank our secretaries, custodians, maintenance staff, teachers, Scott Olson and his staff, and the entire cabinet. They were there, one of them was at our school every single day last week to help us just all throughout the day with whatever we needed help with. And then finally, on behalf of our faculty and staff, I just want to thank you for the respect, the caring, and the support that each of you has shown to one of our teachers, Mr. Murrin, and his family after the following tragic loss of his son. It really was a delicate balance for the year to start off the year with celebrating a brand new school year while at the same time acknowledging the loss. And I think we did a really nice job with it. And so on that note, I would like to say onward. Thanks.
Thank you, Jan. And I've had many teachers come up and echo those same sentiments and how West community has come together and supported one another through while still celebrating and launching into a great new year. Next, I'd like to welcome Sarah Granite, our intermediate school principal, for our opening of school report.
All right, thank you so much. I want to reiterate just thank you. I'm excited to be back for year 2 of Sachs Intermediate School. So we've got the sequel working this year. We welcomed 633 students last week. Currently 296 fifth graders and 337 sixth graders. We welcomed 26 new students from all the way from Indonesia to China to Chile to just down the road in New Canaan and coming back from a private school. So we have the gamut of new students. We are currently holding at 14 sections of fifth grade. after our decreased enrollment. So we currently have 7 mini teams or 14 teachers, and we're at 16 sections. Our 4 teams have stayed the same and consistent with our 337 students in 6th grade. I do also want to say thank you to Scott Olson, who is not here today, and his whole team. All the 5th grade classrooms were painted over the summer, and the change from peach to white has been quite drastic on the walls. It's fantastic. And we did an accent wall of a beautiful sage green to bring kind of a calming feature and an accent wall to the smartboard, which really does allow students to kind of focus in where they need to for the learning and instruction. We also, I know Dave will talk a little bit about it too, had quite a bit of flooring. Our next phase of flooring was completed over the summer. So our entire cafeteria has brand new flooring. Our stairwells have new flooring. So it's been a wonderful addition to just kind of see everything aesthetically look similar instead of going down different hallways and seeing different things. And we also have the addition of our courtyard. There were some pretty massive cranes on our parking lot over the course of the summer, taking some very huge slabs of concrete out. But now that courtyard is a gravel space that all of our students can use in the interim until we're able to put an actual structure out there. But it's been a wonderful addition and more square footage outdoors but inside, if that makes sense, for our students to be able to access. So that was great. I also want to thank our PTC. We have our 5th grade welcome tomorrow, and then on the 16th, we do our full welcome back coffee for all of SACs 5 through 8. They've also been very generous to support all of the rugs and requests for our new Rise and Shine, which I'll talk about shortly, which is very exciting. So their support has been incredible. We have a few fun upcoming events. We have our fun run coming up in a couple weeks for our 5th grade, which is a great just bonding opportunity for students. There is some running involved, but also a lot of team building activities. And we're going to be starting Celebrate Sacs at the end of the month of September, so we're excited for that. We have changed from Right at School to Early Birds. So our Right at School enrollment was low, that it didn't really make sense to continue with that program. But there was a need from quite a few families to have some type of before school care that bridged the gap with a 9:15 start. So we did start an Early Birds program. It kicked off Thursday of last week. We have 9 students enrolled right now, and one of our TAs runs the morning program. So it's more enrollment than we actually anticipated, but it's great. The students are having a really good time. They're trying to see how many towers they can build with our Connect 4 block. So we'll see. Right now they're at 32. So let's see how high they go. So that's been great. As we transition, we did have our meet and greet on Monday of last week, where we welcomed all of our new 5th graders. We did try a new format this year, seeing as our large 6th grade 5th grade last year didn't have as much of a chance to meet their teachers. We opened the doors a little bit early, started in the cafeteria as a whole collective group with students and parents, talked a little bit about just the structure of our day, what arrivals look like, things like that, and what a typical day looks like in 5th grade, and then we transitioned them to their classrooms. So it was very well received by parents and by students. They really enjoyed that, so that we will do that again for next year. It seemed to be a good change in practice. We welcomed 4 new staff members to the intermediate school over the summer. We have a new 6th grade math teacher. We have a new 5th grade special education teacher. We have a new 5th grade math and social studies teacher and a 5th grade long-term sub that will be with us in math and social studies until December, where they will go to East and then come back to us. So we're able to utilize our staff in a variety of ways to be able to, service needs across the whole district, which has been great. We have a new logo and a new theme for this year. Our new logo really embodies the sun. So we are taking the sun and using it kind of as the center of our universe, pun intended, and everything kind of revolves around it, again, pun intended. So we have Shine Bright is our theme for the year. So we have rays of sunshine that students are earning for doing great things. We have our new Rise and Shine. Instead of our matrix, we have a SACS Shines acronym that we're using. So we're really trying to have students see all of the through lines between all of the work that we're doing and get excited about our theme. That being said, Rise and Shine is a new addition to our 5th and 6th grade schedule. We were able to take some time off of our 5-minute passing times in between classes and build a 10-minute block of time at the beginning of the day for students to come in, work on some relationship building with peers and with their teachers, and really start the day in a positive way. It's kind of an extension to morning meeting like they do in our K-4 classrooms. We've gotten wonderful feedback from teachers. They really love the idea of being able to start with an arrival at the door and a welcome at the door, and getting students to have a conversation, or how was your weekend, and building in time for that doesn't take away from the academic component that they're doing. So we still have our 45-minute periods, 8 classes a day, but we're able to kind of find some time within those passing times, which also helps us because unstructured time, as I'm sure you can imagine with 5th and 6th grade, leads to some really interesting things. So it's solving 2 purposes at this point. So overall, it's been a wonderful start to the year. Thank you for having us again, and we're looking forward to a great year ahead.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Now we'll introduce Dave Gussich, our Sachs Middle School principal. And now, CJ, we can turn on the projector. There we go. Thank you.
Just for a little background visual. So it was brought up by Mr. Egan earlier, so I figured we'd take advantage to have a little bit of scenery while talking. So greetings, members of the Board of Education, Central Office leadership, those in attendance and those tuning in live or watching later. As the proud principal of Sachs Middle School, it is an honor and privilege to stand before you and speak on behalf of our great school. This year, as Sachs Middle School, and as an admin team, Dr. Ferreira and I welcomed in close to 600 students in grades 7 and 8, with approximately 23 of those being new to New Canaan. We had 7 new certified staff members, whether it was in grades 7 and 8 or spanning grades 5 through 8 in art, French, special education, school psychology, and math. Another 10 staff members who are either non-certified or support staff, and that includes campus monitor, custodian, and TAs, or filling in for long-term sub situations. And we also have an intern who will be with us for the year, which we're excited about as well, from Sacred Heart University. It's a great partnership that we're able to have as part of our staff as well. As we've heard before, a huge thanks goes out to our custodial and maintenance staff, our administrative assistants, the tech team, our wonderful food service crew, our admin team, and of course our Sachs Middle School teachers, faculty, and staff. The building looked great as always, and we're extremely grateful. We'd like to thank our ever-supportive Sachs PTC, as you've heard already, who remain active even over the summer. Our PTC is instrumental in our ongoing evolution through teacher grants, our upcoming Celebrate Sachs campaign, and transforming learning space projects outside of the traditional classrooms, and always much, much more. They're always there for us. In my 8 years of principal at Sachs Middle School, the launch into the 2025-26 school year may just be one of the best in recent memory, and I could not be more proud of our staff and students. Since teachers returned from convocation and through the opening days of professional learning, our 7th and 8th grade teachers have come in with a positive, enthusiastic mindset. And yes, they have been updated on our positive psychology admin retreat and the joy drops that we all had so much fun with. And I believe that their planful approach was evident to our students as they arrived last week and continued through today. There's a genuine sense of excitement about the school year. In terms of our physical plant, Sarah shared a little bit in terms of what's been going on with some of the flooring and the paint. The second elevator is currently being updated, with the first having been completed last year. And then the one of our 5 courtyards that it just completed phase 1, we're really excited about. It looks great. We would like to thank our manager of facilities, also been mentioned before, Scott Olson, and his assistant, Andrew Soroy, and of course our building manager, Tim McCrae, and their teams. The work that their teams do matters in terms of our students feeling a sense of pride in their building, which I certainly believe that they do. Over the past couple of days, it's been nice visiting our classrooms across all disciplines and seeing the foundations of positive relationships in action. Interactive and kinesthetic teaching approaches, collaborative group work, and one of the most important elements of our team structure, our team meetings have also already begun. These are an opportunity for teachers, counselors, support staff, and administrators to get to better know their students and to personalize the needs of students and families as teams work closely to meet the needs of each student on their team. As you're aware, middle school is an ever-changing developmental phase where our kids grow more than any other developmental phase outside of infant to toddler, and some may even challenge that research. As such, we like to be responsive in making the learning environment as meaningful as possible for our students. So each year we solicit feedback and choose one word that unites us throughout the year. And in addition to infusing joy and happiness, our focus for this year is going to be inspire. As you see on the screen, small font, you're probably not going to be able to read that, which is okay, but I'm going to go through. What you're going to see there is what we're looking to inspire with our Sax Middle School students to appreciate the process of learning and growing, because it certainly is a process. Being resilient in the face of challenges, because there will be many, and we acknowledge that. Being innovative and creative in their thinking, reaching their potential in all phases of their learning, because that's going to be unique to each of our students. And taking pride in their work and in our school community. It's also, at the bottom, it says, we are inspired by you. I think it's important for them to also recognize that that's meaningful to us. Our students do inspire us, the adults who work closely with them on a daily basis as well. What we're continuing to build upon, our core class rotation after a successful launch last year. Students and staff alike reported the benefits of having classes at different times of the day throughout the course of the 6-day rotation. Our phone-free schools, as we've seen our move to phone-free schools last year, and really more importantly, our general emphasis on digital wellness was hugely beneficial to students, and honestly adults as well, in the way we operate within our building during school hours. Students knew the ropes, and it was a seamless return to students securing their electronic devices in their yonder pouches. Not saying reminders won't be necessary, but we'll celebrate the wins when we get them, even if they may not be huge. We continue to look at opportunities to build and foster community with formats such as grade level and town hall meetings and team celebrations. We'll be holding our grade level meetings tomorrow to ensure consistent messaging, share updates. Yes, there may be some gentle reminders on school rules, and reinforcing our commitment to every single member of our learning community and how they all tie in together with our ongoing work. As a fun aside, I mentioned that I'd be speaking to the Board of Education this evening to a few students and asked them if they wanted to share what they thought was the best part of the new school year. As students this age do, they lit up recognizing that people are actually interested in what they have to say and that their voices matter. I heard everything from the expected seeing friends to it's been fun to getting to know my teachers and the cooperative team building activities we've been doing. There were even a few acknowledgments about recess, as our students, I think, do truly value that time to be able to be social, get outside, get a little movement, fresh air, and that's something that they understand helps them when they go back into the classroom. In summary, our students are reporting they've returned to a learning environment that's a positive one, where they'll be comfortable and confident navigating the day-to-day challenges that are part of the learning process, and even having some fun along the way. Overall, in addition to everything mentioned, our focus is to continue to develop kind, well-rounded young people. In closure, I'd like to thank the Board of Ed, Dr. Lutzy and the Central Office team, and our school community for your continued support. We're inspired to lead with what is most important, and that's having our students at the front and center. This is what makes New Canaan special. Your Sax Middle School team looks forward to working together to make 2025-26 the best year yet. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Great. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
All right, we're done. No, I'm sorry. Bill? Yeah. Last but never least, Principal Bill Egan, our high school principal.
You hooking me up, CJ? Good evening, and thank you for having me here tonight. It's always a privilege to speak to the Board of Education. As principal of New Canaan High School, I'm grateful for the opportunity to lead the finest high school in the state of Connecticut, and I think the country. It's not number 2. I don't care what you put out in that thing. The start of the school year is always an exciting time. As you can see by some of the pictures up there, we had an inflatable arch. If you can see in the first the top corner picture, the PFA was so generous to get, and not to let's see, he laughed. I may even sneak around because I'm going to point at this thing a little bit. There's these 2 guys in the background. So I don't know if you can see it, but if they have students, I you might have seen it. But those 2 wavy guys. So we have these 2 wavy guys now for like the start of the year of different activities. So it was actually very cool. Kids liked it, and I think it made Brian's day. He said he was, I think, maybe struggling with some activities that were going around. And he came up to high school, and he saw that, and it lit up his day, made him happy. So
It put a smile on everyone's face.
I think it did. I think it did. Hopefully you high school peeps who came in saw that in the morning and liked it. Our staff began the year with professional development, preparing themselves to inspire, connect, and support our students. I continue to be inspired by their dedication and joy they bring to teaching and learning, the learning process. Over the summer, the building was busy as always. We refreshed the Wagner Room. I think it looks great. The carpeting, thank you very much for that. We're also in the process of installing a new PA system, hopefully be ready in a couple of weeks. Again, thank you to all of you. That's going to have a tremendous impact on teaching, learning, and safety around the building. I'd like to thank our facility manager, Scott Olson, his team, and our custodial staff led by David Reyes, and our administrative assistants for their tireless efforts in ensuring the school was ready to welcome everyone back. This year, we also changed the way we approached our freshman orientation, as you saw all of that up there, offering a morning session instead of an afternoon one. It changed a long-standing tradition. Our ninth graders were introduced to the school, received key information, and met with the counselors before classes even began. In the past, the ninth graders came and had their orientation in the afternoon. It seemed to make sense to flip it, so we did. At the same time, our seniors enjoyed a celebratory breakfast. Thank you to the PFA for putting that on. You can see some of the food that's up there. And we had music and games, and it was the first of many lasts they'll experience this year. It was a wonderful way to set the tone for both ends of our student community. A new club, the Ambassadors, welcomed our students in. They're going to be doing activities once a month, and our seniors were always excited. They came with shirts, most of them appropriate, but you'll see in the bottom corner, it's a picture of myself and Mrs. Carrero, the ninth grade administrator, and it has us kind of in canes walking around like seniors, get it? So that was one of their shirts, kind of cute. The opening week was filled with energy. Students were excited to be together, and our faculty has once again created a warm and welcoming environment where every learner feels like they belong. On Friday, we also held class meetings during which we discussed the importance of Ram Pride and our incredible support our school receives from the community. You know, we talked to the kids and just told them how valuable this school is to the community. I know all our schools are. But certainly, you know, we feel like the high school is really the cornerstone of the community. You see NC gear everywhere in this community. It means a lot, and we want the kids to know it means that much to them as well. I remind the students that we should all be proud to represent such an amazing school community. On Wednesdays, we have our building block, which continues to provide us with time to build relationships and strengthen our classroom communities. This fall, we welcomed 20 new staff members, I think it was 12 certified and 8 non-certified, joining our 136 dedicated certified faculty members and 88 non-certified staff. I encourage all of them to find joy, not just in instruction, but in their daily interactions with students and colleagues. As I've often said, we have the best students in the state. That spirit is what makes New Canaan High School such a special place. In total, we're happy to welcome 1,269 students at New Canaan High School this year. I want to take a moment to thank our PFA and our parent community, whether it be through special events like the breakfast the other day, instructional needs, or building up our community and climate, or just their daily partnership. They make a tremendous difference in our school. And of course, we're looking forward to the year ahead, filled with concerts, performance, athletic events, and including the excitement of a brand new scoreboard. Thank you once again at Dunning Stadium. It went out today, not quite ready for prime time, but we'll be there very soon. And finally, I want to thank Dr. Lutzy, central office staff, and all of you, our Board of Education members. I've worked in many school districts, and I could say without hesitation that this Board of Ed is extraordinary, professional, supportive, and unwavering in its commitment to students. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead New Canaan High School. It's an honor and privilege, one I don't take lightly, and I could not imagine a better place to work. So, thank you. No questions, right, Mr. Campbell?
They're coming later. It's between me, you, and Darlene.
All right, thank you very much.
So I just want to quickly say thank you
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
to all of our principals. Just any other comments? Or?
Questions?
Yeah, I do actually, unless
No, I do,
Matt
but
wants.
go, please go
Okay.
first.
Thank you to all the principals for coming, and I appreciate you sharing the excitement of the first day with all of us. One of the things I heard a couple of times was around the use of longer-term subs, which is always going to be necessary on an ongoing basis. So it's maybe more of a Darlene question, but it's very important that we make sure we have enough folks to step in when somebody needs to be out of the classroom. And I was just wondering, do we feel comfortable we have the folks we need, or is there anything we can do to make sure we have the folks we need?
I have to say yet again that these principals and their assistant principals are so resourceful. They're always planning ahead. They have a plan B and a plan C typically. The first part of the plan is usually our building subs. And the model that we adopted during the pandemic that's continued over time provides us with such security in terms of being able to have someone who knows our facility, who knows our staff and our administrators, who knows our kids. And so they're the first line of defense in long-term subs. People who are in these seats remember people that they've interviewed. They keep lists. And so the minute we know we're going to need a long-term sub, they're pretty resourceful about calling and contacting people. And we always seem to fill the positions, I think, with people that they're comfortable with. The other really good thing about here is that when people hear that there's an opening, our teachers know people. And so very often they will refer someone that they know who either has some teaching experience but isn't currently teaching, or has some connection to kids and has, some really good experience with children. And, people help one another. So I think we're in a really good place. And you're right, there will always be a fair amount of our staff who are leaving to have children or who have medical conditions. And so we know that, so we kind of prepare as best we can.
And I would just add, the difference between the model that we use now versus what we used to use is we call them subs, but actually they're certified teachers. So that team of folks that we have in the building, they are certified teachers. When they step into somebody else's classroom for whatever need, they come with the training and the experience, and now they come also with the knowledge of the school and the kids and the procedures and things that we do. So it really has been added incredible value to that. So they can really generally step in and not skip a beat when they're coming to a classroom. It's been a big.
And I just wanted to add that they do attend the new teacher orientation if they've been hired already. And then we do have an orientation involved with the coaches and the curriculum. So whether they're coming in at the high school, they may be working very closely with the department chairs, or if they're going into SACs, they might be working with one of the coordinators or reading specialists. And then certainly at the elementary level, it's really all of our specialists, the coordinators, and those classroom coaches as well. And they are privy to all the professional learning that we provide for all of our staff, so that we make sure that they are giving the same experiences to the students that they are teaching.
We're actually even able to hire subs for this building subs. No, we've really been successful in doing that. And mostly on the elementary level, our principals have interviewed a lot of people for teaching positions. And as I said, they keep the list. And so when a building sub fills in for a long-term sub, we replace that position with a sub for the building sub.
All right, I don't mean to belabor the point.
I'll stop.
The last thing I'm going to say is we also then have some that excel in that role and then grow into become faculty members in a year, 2 years. And you might have noticed it in the orientation and some of the other conversations we've had. So those folks come in as those building subs, but they grow, if they're growing the right ways and we think that they're ready, they transition right into a classroom position, which is great. Great way to get them onboarded.
Thank you all for that. Question, Janet, I know you mentioned the Let Grow initiative. I know Julie and Laura have spearheaded that and pushing that forward, that pilot program at West. Could you give us an update on what that is and how it's going to be rolled out? And sort of, I think a lot of people in the community are really interested in that.
Sure, and thanks for asking. And it really is in its infancy right now. It's we approached the grade 2 team last year in the spring along with Susan Bliss and our classroom coach, and this year we have an additional classroom coach. So we have a meeting scheduled for next week to kind of decide what we think we want it to look like. But the way the grade 2 team kind of envisions it is that we're already doing something called KIND, and that's being a focus on West School KIND. Kind, independent, neighborly, and determined, sorry. And so what the idea that we came up with is because it really is a program about fostering independence in childhood, right? So, and the Let Grow program, as we saw it on the website, and again, I'm trying to learn more about it as well, but it's really about how do we set kids up to be able to do things independently. The focus is going to be on at home, but also at school. So the I in KIND, it's really going to stand for independent. And we envision taking pictures of students being that I in KIND and kind of celebrating some of the ways that they've been independent. So one of the first things we might do is take a look at how can parents at home help students become more independent in homework? Or how do we set them up for success for things like that? I'm still learning about the program. We're still talking about it and how it's going to evolve. It would be great to get a parent or two to kind of work through some of those things with us, but it really is about letting go, right, and letting grow kids. And again, it kind of ties in with my book. It's about teaching that resilience and that independence, and really probably the best thing out of it is the confidence that it will build in students to be able to do things on their own and giving them those skills to be able to do it. So again, I'm still learning about it. It is something new. The second grade team, we figure they're sort of right in the middle with K1 underneath and 3-4 above. They're sort of in that sweet spot that we thought we would start there.
And we do have a speaker coming to the
Correct.
district
Forgot about
in the
that,
fall, Lenore Skenesky, who along with Jonathan Haidt sort of developed the concept behind this program. So she'll be coming, speaking with parents and also speaking with staff. And that'll help us to frame things out.
Perfect. Sounds interesting.
Thank you.
Great, thanks. Any other questions or comments? Awesome, thanks very much.
Yep, I want to echo thanks to all of our principals. You're very good at handing the credit to others, but deserve a heap of it yourselves. So really getting off to a great start in the school year and helping each and every child know that school is a place for them, that the adults are here on their behalf, that they care, they're respected, they're loved, and they matter in each and every one of your schools all day long. And you set the tone in your buildings, and you do it better than anyone. And so thank you for all of your hard work and everything that you do. Obviously the dedication, the commitment that you have comes through in all of what you're saying. Well, really what comes through is the love of the work, the love of the kids, and the respect you have for everything that we do. Understanding that the work we do is the most important work on the planet. So thank you. Now I can also, if it's all right with you, invite them to head home.
Yep.
Because tomorrow morning they'll be back at their schools bright and early, ready for the start of another great day. So thank you.
Thanks again.
And they never say no when I offer that.
Yep. All right, moving on to action items. We do have a donation.
We do,
Cookie program,
yes.
yeah.
So we had a meeting with the Community Foundation over the summer talking about our cookie program. And as you know, our cookie program started a couple of years ago thanks to an anonymous donor who, after hearing about the experiences of students, especially in the middle school cafeteria, but on the whole, generously wanted to underwrite a program, really, that would provide funding for each student who is on our free and reduced lunch list so that they could buy additional food in their cafeteria like everybody else. Then we call it the cookie program because every time we look at it, cookies are a 3-to-1 bestseller compared to everything else. But there are other things too. There's water, there's chips, there's healthy things too that they have. But cookies most of all. So in meeting with the Community Foundation who holds those funds, so the donor writes the check there and then we receive them, we decided that it'd be best for them to write a check early in the year so that we can get things started right away on day one. We want to make sure we can do that. So this $25,000 is a portion of that. Probably by the end of the year, we might be upwards around $60,000, give or take, to continue to support the program. As you know, the list is expanding a bit with the number of kids that are on the free and reduced lunch list, but not blinking an eye. And they are so committed to this incredible initiative on behalf of children and families. As a matter of fact, in that conversation with the Community Foundation, Lauren was talking about, are there ways to expand this even more? Can we think about those students who are sort of on the cusp, maybe not quite eligible, but still struggling to make ends meet? And so we're thinking about best ways to even do something like that and to expand this program to positively impact more lives for kids. Because as you know, the cafeteria can be a tough place for everyone. And so leveling this playing field has been a game changer for our kids that are involved. So this donation on the agenda tonight is that first installment of those costs. So it's about $25,000, which will get us up and going for the next couple months as the list settles out and we get a total count of how many students there are, and then we'll be able to let them know what the rest will take.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so can I please get a motion to accept this very generous donation from the New Canaan Community Foundation in the amount of $25,000 for students participating in the cookie program? Penny for first, second Matt Campbell, all in favor? Obviously, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Comments from the public? Just as a reminder, please state your name and street address.
Good evening. My name is Jason Cohen. I live at 252 Buttery Road.
Thank you.
I have 3 children in our fabulous schools, 2 in East and 1 first year in Saks. We've been a part of the New Canaan community since 2019, and we've been in the school system for about 5 years. And every day I'm grateful that my family and my children, we get to be a part of this community and we get to attend these schools. And we're grateful to the teachers and staff and the administrators and the board for creating such a fabulous opportunity for our children. With that being said, the bar's been set high. And one area where I think we can improve and move the bar up a little bit more was some challenges that we had around transportation. So the first 2 weeks have been quite challenging for my family with transportation. There have been several issues that have made this challenging, and from what we've heard from other families in group chats and conversations, it seems like they're facing similar challenges. And I think it's important to address this challenge because problems with getting our kids to school, longer commute times, studies have shown can have an impact on their academic performance. And many children in our school system also participate in after-school activities. For our family, it's impacted our children and also our work schedules. Our children have had a time window of 50 minutes for pickup and drop-off, totaling almost 2-hour time window for pickup. I commute to New York City every day, and it makes it impossible for me to participate in the pickup and drop-off of my children as a result, which puts everything on my wife, who also works full-time. And adding approximately 2 hours window for waiting for a bus to come pick up our children is kind of like a commute to New York City. And it was unanticipated. And this means that work schedules have to change at very short notice and over more than a week's time. And that has an impact. Other areas of impact I think I might be losing on my time here is with us, our child wasn't put on the right bus, and there were other issues. I think there's an opportunity to improve the communication, and I'm happy to speak with members of the board or other members of the staff to share some feedback and also to share
It's been 2
solutions.
minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too. Any other comments? All right, moving on to announcements and future business, please.
Sure, I have a couple of announcements here. First off, I wanted to give the board a quick update on our fitness center. Fantastic news there. Thanks to the generous support of the community, the renovation of the fitness center is officially underway, and the project timeline has just recently come out. So the order was placed on June 25th, and the space will be completely transformed with brand new flooring in the fitness center, in the adjacent hallway, and it'll be equipped with top-of-the-line strength and functional training machines as well. The week of September 8th, we're going to be doing the new flooring. On the September 22nd, we'll have delivery and installation of all the new equipment. And then in mid-October, we'll have a donor open house and a thank you so that everyone can get down there and take a look. And I just wanted to share our deep gratitude to Jim Schaefer and Jason Miska, who helped to spearhead this initiative from the start. And certainly a special thank you to the All Sports Booster Club for their coordination and management of this effort and for everything that they do to benefit our kids and our programs. So it's really a powerful collaboration. It's going to be a great space. And I know the board, we had talked about it a few months back and accepted that donation. So they've brought in all the money that required, and they're able to not just do the flooring in the hallway, but also bring in all new equipment. So it's great news. I also want to share that we've begun receiving our assessment scores from our student assessments, and they are, once again, thanks to Dr. Krenti, the curriculum team, and our teacher staff, and of course our kids, outstanding. And so in October, we'll be hearing from our high school folks about the progress with the SAT and the work that they've done with AP and ACT. And then the second meeting in October, Dr. Krenti will share with us the scores for our Smarter Balanced and our kids. suffice it to say, we did outstandingly well. And our students outperformed not just everybody else, but themselves. Yeah, really impressive stuff. So great stuff. Dr. Robinson mentioned that we begin our welcome back coffees tomorrow morning over at East. And then I'll be visiting with West and all the other schools just to say a brief hello, welcome folks back. And of course, I'll be there afterwards as well if people have other feedback that they would like to share. And our New Canaan High School open house is next Thursday, the evening of September 11th. We've got quite a few other things going on. Today, we also certified the EFS report, which is the Educational Financial System. That's our unofficial audit that goes up to the state, all of the data and information there on the finances. And at our next Board of Education meeting, Sean will be sharing a summary of that and sort of the puts and takes on the expenditures throughout the course of the year. But we feel like we are in a very good place with that. And also at our next meeting, we'll invite Scott Olson to join us, who will give us an update on all of our capital projects. We heard some of that tonight from our principals, but there's quite a few more things that happened, quite a bit more. And our students will join us for a Model UN field trip update, and again, the end of the year fiscal report. So that'll be our September 15th meeting. We'll get back into our Monday meetings instead of this unusual Tuesday meeting. So, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn our meeting tonight? Erica, second. Penny, all in favor? Great, thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Great.